Say it with me. I believe in me. Say it with me. I believe in me. I want you to realize that when you start believing in yourself, your world changes. And even when you hear that saying, I believe in me, what is that actually saying when we look at this on a deeper level? What you don't realize that you're saying, I believe in me, you're basically saying that God believes in me. The inner internal God that lives inside of us in a form of consciousness believes in you. That inner God that you have the ability to dictate in a sense, because you have a conscious mind and you have a subconscious mind, and that I lives inside the subconscious mind. We're not able to fully control it because we're not the eternal being, but we have a connection between us and that being, I and I. So when I say I believe in me and you say I believe in me, you're saying that God believes in me. Do you believe in God? Yes, I believe in God. You're saying that you believe in yourself. I hope I haven't lost you. So when you say that you believe in you or you believe in God, that is you believing in self. And I want you to know that if you have lack of confidence in self, if you have fear, if you have doubts, that means you are not believing in the divine. You're not believing in the Most High. You are not believing in consciousness. It all is one and the same. You have to have a good relationship with self to have a good relationship with the divine. You see, your headspace, your mind is the place where you build this relationship, and you lay down everything that does not resonate with you in the altar of consciousness. You lay everything down on the altar of your consciousness that you do not desire to be anymore, and you put your focus on the things that you desire to be. But you know what that requires? That requires for you to surrender. A lot of us can't surrender because a lot of us want to take control every single moment. We want to know what's going to happen next. We want to know how this is going to turn out. But all we have to do is have the desire of the thing that we want, have the desire and focus in our mindset, embody the feeling of the desire, and release. Because once you embody the feeling and have the feeling and you focus on the desire without full attachment to it, you release it, because that's what surrender is. Surrender is release. So once you release it into the inner world of your subconscious mind, which is the other I of you, the I and I. You release it to God. You release it to the consciousness. You let it flow in the current, and you let it show up in the physical. You see, your thoughts are the manifestations of your created and desired reality. So the things that you think about consistently and constantly are the things that are going to show up in the physical realm. Do you understand that? I got some matcha today. That's good. That's good. I love me some matcha. Honestly, I'm trying to get away from coffee. So matcha will be a good replacement for no more coffee. But anyway, so if I place my focus on the thing that I desire, and I start by first saying that I believe in myself, we don't understand that we can be our main hindrances. And why are we our main hindrances? Because we are our connection with the divine. Because the divine lives inside of us through consciousness. So if my conscious mind is not in the right state, of course my external environment is going to reflect that. Of course my external environment is going to reflect the thing that I am depicting inside of my mind. You see, there's a thing called a mind power. Your internal thoughts, your desires, are what fully fulfill the thing that you are trying to acquire on a physical and external level. And you have to believe and embody that you believe. If I say that I believe in myself, there has to be no doubt. There has to be no fear. I'm not saying there's not going to be any kind of bodily responses, because sometimes that happens. We also have to be in a space where we have to reprogram our nervous systems. And the biggest way that you can reprogram your nervous system is that you need to sit with yourself, sit in silence, sit in darkness, and you need to activate your third eye. You need to activate that oneness with the divine that lives inside of you, with the consciousness that lives inside of you. You must activate that. You must be in stillness. You need to quiet the thoughts, quiet your mind. You have so much chit chat going on. You don't even know what your true inner self is trying to tell you, what the divine, what consciousness really wants you to do, what your intuition really needs you to do right now. But when you sit down in silence and you sit in meditation and you finally allow your mind to soften, your consciousness to flow through you, you see the consciousness, the divine cannot flow through a vessel that's already flooded with noise, with frequency. You're over flooded right now with frequency. So I need you to say, I believe in me. And when you say, I believe in me, you're saying God believes in me. Consciousness believes in me. I believe in me. But what I want you to ask yourself is, do you truly believe that? Because a lot of us are out here saying these things, saying these affirmations, and we don't truly believe it. We don't truly believe in ourselves. We don't truly have confidence in ourselves. There can be no conflicting or contradicting energy inside of you when you say these things. I believe I am successful. I believe I am this. The belief has to be true within you. There can be no altering energies. Conflicting energies can create conflicting results. Think about if you're doing a project and you keep changing your mind about it. Think about your belief and your thoughts, because your thoughts are your beliefs. Your thoughts are going to become your manifested reality. Your thoughts are your manifestations that become manifested in the physical realm, right? So think about your thoughts as a seed, and your subconscious mind as the soil that's going to grow them. Your subconscious mind is the Garden of Eden. And your thoughts are Adam and Eve. They're going to bring life, right? So if I keep picking at my seeds that I planted, how are they ever going to grow? How are they ever going to live? How are they ever going to grow and bear fruits one day if I never allowed them to sprout? If I never allow them to grow roots? I'm always scared. I don't have faith. Because to have the desire that you want, to have it is to believe it. You don't need to see it to believe it. You need to believe it to see it. Let me say that again. The thing that you desire requires you to believe it in order for you to see it. Not for you to see it in order to believe it. This is not a sense of blind faith, but this is a sense of you deep intuitively knowing inside yourself that your desires, who you are, what you want, whatever you're manifesting inside of you is already yours, and you become the embodiment of that thing. It's not blind faith because you know the thing that you want is already yours. I don't need to have blind faith about that. I don't need to have blind faith about the understanding that I know that consciousness exists inside of me. I don't need to have blind faith inside of me, or blind faith in general. All right. All I need to do is come within myself and have this understanding that I know what I am. I am that I am. That I am is God. And when I say I am successful, I am abundant, the I and I inside of me, we're in agreement. Because you have a cardinal brain, which is your human mind, your conscious moment where you can actively think about that. And you have your spiritual brain. Do you know that we only use about 10%-ish of our brain, and it's usually the left hemisphere? We have two hemispheres of our brain, and we only use about 10% of it, of the brain. There was a reason back in the day, in the ancient times, that they perhaps were able to think more differently because they used their entire brain. And what's the other part of our brain that we don't use? The spiritual side. We don't use our spiritual side, our spiritual wisdom, not just knowledge. We use wisdom, something that is so intuitively ingrained within the frequency of the entire universe. We don't use that. We don't tap into that understanding as much as we're supposed to. But we can, if we sit in silence and become in oneness with the self again. And understand I and my Father are one. The Father, the consciousness, the current and frequency of the entire world are one. We all come from the same source. So how could that same source not exist inside of me? And how could I not have a direct link to that? You have to say that you believe in you first. The first step is you understanding that I believe in me. And when you know what believing in you requires, it requires trust. It requires trust. It requires surrender. It requires you to have faith, because you have to believe it in order for you to see it. Not for you to see it in order to believe it. You understand? You have to believe that you can co-create with the I inside of you. And you can have whatever you want. But you have these self-limitation, these self-limiting beliefs because they've developed as you grew up. People have placed these things inside of your head that make you feel like you couldn't accomplish these things, and you put a ceiling over your head. And I want you to know this is an expanding universe. You are an expanding universe inside you. You're your own universe up here. So if you are an expanding universe with some limits, because we have a skull, so we're somewhat finite, but we have an expanding universe that lives inside of us, we still have an expansive capability to bring in whatever we want because of that divine connection that we have with the higher power, with consciousness, with the current of frequency of the divine. You have that same power, right? You have that same frequency. This is some powerful stuff, because once you start really changing your belief system, meaning your thought process, what are you festering in your mind daily? I just have this feeling that so many of you, like, you fester on things so much. You keep the same thoughts in your head all the time of negativity. And I just want you to know you can change your life with the change of your mind. Be ye renewed by the mind. You can be renewed by the rejuvenation of your mind. And why can you be renewed by the rejuvenation of your mind? Because once you change your mind, you change your reality. Because your reality is created by the mind. This is a creating universe. Not created. It's not done. It's always creating. It's never ending. Something is constantly changing. And what someone needs to hear is that you need to accept change. Be comfortable with change, because you never want to stop growing. You know what growth is? Growth is change. Growth is something altering. As you flow with change, you flow with life. You flow towards the path that you're supposed to be going on. So never be afraid when things start to change, because it's for a reason, not just for a season. Understand? But start to get in the energy of, I believe in me, I believe in me, I believe in me, I believe in me, Ashe. And so it is. But believe in you. This doesn't even have to be like some delusional thing, because this is the process of you understanding what manifestation is. This is the first step. If you don't believe in you, I don't even think you can manifest anything else, because belief is the first step to trust. Belief and trust go hand in hand. Belief, trust, and surrender. That's where we are right now. That's where you are right now. Belief, trust, and surrender. Do I believe I can have what I want? Do I trust that I can have what I want? Do I trust myself? Who is myself? Me and the divine, I and I. And do I have faith that I can believe before I see it? Because a lot of us are in situations and circumstances externally, we can't see beyond those circumstances. So if we can't change our external environment, why not change our internal environments? Why not change the internal self when you can't change the external reality? If we understood that the external reality is just a pushed out manifestation of this here brain, of this here frequency inside you, you would jump quick and be like, let me get on that right now, but I need you to jump quick now. Because I need you to understand it's your responsibility to change it. Everything that's going on around you is of your own doing. You know how they say, when you change your perspective, even in a situation that's not the best situation, you change your perspective. You change your perspective on it. You change your way of viewing it. Now you're viewing it from a different lens. You know what the lens is? A different realm, a different feeling. You've jumped into a new reality with a new vision. Because before, when I didn't have my glasses on, I couldn't see the things that I can see with my glasses on. I can see clearly now the reality that I'm supposed to be in. I can see clearly now where I'm going. But even when I couldn't see, I believed in what I couldn't see before it was there. I had faith because I knew it was there. It was just unfolding and uncovering. So that's going to be it for the message of light, y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see y'all next time. Remember that. Say, I believe. Ashe and amen.